You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hi, I'm Joe Heath.
I'm Toni Heath.
And this is the Watch-A-Thon of Rassilon.
That is true.
The 8th and 9th episodes of the 4th season of Doctor Who, Silence in the Library and Forest of the Dead, which aired from May 31st, 2008 to June 7th, 2008.
True facts!
And today we have a returning guest. It's Ben Paddon!
Yay! Returning very loosely because I think it's been 8 years since I was last on the pod. When was I last on the show?
I'm going to see what your last episode was. It was definitely...
Joe is pulling up his spreadsheet.
I'm not pulling up the spreadsheet. I'm pulling up our website.
It's pre-pandemic, surely.
Oh, wow. You didn't do anything in the 7th Doctor era.
Oh, that sucks. I love the 7th Doctor. I genuinely believe there's not a single bad story in the 7th Doctor era.
I agree. The last one you did was the 2 Doctors.
Oh, wow. So that was... God, I've definitely moved at least twice since we did that.
That was 5 years ago.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's been a while. I can't remember. Had I come out as non-binary when we recorded that one? Yes. Okay. Yeah. It's been a bit. It's been 5 decades or one David Tennant era of Doctor Who.
I do think we've seen you since then, but we haven't done a podcast since then. I think we came one year for like my birthday. And we all like ate at a place, and then we tried to do karaoke, and it didn't work out.
Yes. We went to the NoHo Diner here in North Hollywood.
Yes, and it was good.
Fun fact: Doug Jones's favorite diner.
Oh,
yeah.
So now I know where to stalk him. Great.
It's weird. I feel like this is the longest conversation we've had in 5 years for sure. Already. If I stopped now, it's still the longest conversation we've had since the 2 Doctors.
So since it's been a while, and there may be people who are only listening to this podcast from New Who on, they may not know who you are. So tell us who you are and your relationship with Doctor Who.
Well, my name is Ben Paddon. My pronouns are they, them. I am a British-born writer, comedian, voice actor, podcaster, actual play smith, if that's the term. It is not. I live in Los Angeles. I am a Taurus. I don't believe in star signs. Very stubborn like that, being a Taurus. And I am probably best known for the YouTube series Port Center, which I did for a decent chunk of time, talking about interesting and unique ports conversions and re-releases of video games. And I also did the webcomic, now audio drama series, Jump Leads, which is best described as Doctor Who meets Red Dwarf by way of Sliders.
The hamburger?
But yeah, it's about a bunch of people who travel to parallel universes, desperately searching for the perfect tiny hamburger.
They have yet to find it.
They haven't found it yet. I'm saving that for season 5.
Oh, nice.
Got to build to it, you know?
Yeah, you gotta set all the pieces.
Yeah.
Before you knock them down.
Yeah, they find it, and then they realize that wasn't what they were looking for at all, and that the reaching the end of the journey really kind of imparts upon them just how important the journey itself was, and so they don't actually eat the tiny burgers, and they continue traveling the multiverse together.
I like it. Spoilers, I guess, but
that's fine. I've done 2 seasons of the audio drama. I'm currently writing the 3rd. Given my current rate of creation, it will probably be out in 2032. So
I'll put it in my calendar now. All right, so are we ready to talk about Silence in the Library?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I've written a quick summary. I've also given this 2-parter a serial title. I have to explain it a little bit because 2 original... I'm going off what the wikis say. There was 2 titles that were proposed for... I'm not sure if it was the 1st or 2nd episode, but one was Rivers Run and another was The Doctor Runs. But I'm going to call it Book It.
Because they have that pan pizza at the end, that tiny personal
pan
pizza at the very end of the episode, yeah.
All right, here's my summary. The Doctor and Donna arrive at a seemingly abandoned planet-sized library, which is actually swarming with the flesh-eating Vashta Narada. They team up with a group of explorers to figure out what's going on. The leader of this group is River Song, a woman who seems to know the Doctor, though he doesn't know her. Donna winds up in a virtual reality world inside the library's hard drive. The Doctor and River race to save Donna and thousands of other people, ultimately resulting in River sacrificing herself. However, the Doctor transfers River's mind into the library's core, and just this once, everyone lives.
Never happened before. Do you want to know the origin of River Song's name?
Yes.
Yeah, as what Amy called her baby. No, it's so Russell T Davies and Stephen Moffat for a hot minute in, I want to say 2006 or 2007, very aware that Doctor Who fans tend to refer to stories and episodes by the acronym. So, you know, the end of the world becomes TEOTW as an example. So they were just playing a fun game, coming up with episode titles that would become acronyms that are also naughty words. And Stephen Moffat jokingly suggested A River's Song Ends, which becomes Arse, and liked the way River Song sounded, that it became a character name that he ended up using in this two-parter.
Ah, nice. Speaking of River Song, let's just get into it. How do we feel about River Song in this episode?
I love River. I think River's one of my favorite characters. I love her story arc. I love her entire arc. I know that there is a corner of fandom who's like, well, but her entire story revolves around the Doctor. Yeah, dog, the show's called Doctor Who. So that's kind of going to happen anyway. Question mark. Amy's story revolves around the Doctor. No one ever complains, oh, Rose's story revolves entirely around the Doctor, which it absolutely does. And people love Rose. So it feels like a weird thing for people to kind of hang their hat on. And that's to say nothing of the fact that a lot of River's story that we don't see doesn't revolve around the Doctor. Whereas a lot of Rose's story that we don't see 100% does. Like, she invented the dimension canon to get to the Doctor again. So whereas River's is off having her own adventures, you know, flirting with severed king heads and the like. I love River, and I think this is such a strong... I think if this had been a one-off story for River and we'd never seen the character again, I still would love her. I think this is such a perfect... It's a perfect two-parter in isolation, but it being the beginning of the viewer's journey with River as a character who would, you know, recur and return over many seasons is perfect.
This is also only my second time having seen it. So
just a little fascinating.
Yeah.
It's a completely different episode
Yeah.
time.
The first time around, you're like, I don't know who this is. Rewatching it, it's also like a fitting end for the character.
The tragedy hits a little harder.
Yeah. You're like, oh, you know her now. So you're like watching it from her viewpoint instead of the Doctor's viewpoint, which is, I think, very interesting. And you also have that scene where she's like, have we done this yet? Have we done this yet? And I'm like, yeah, we have. We've seen it.
One of the great tragedies is we don't see the 10th Doctor and River on screen again. We've had like a box set of audios, which I'm glad Big Finish did those. I wish that they had executed on them differently. I still like it, but I wish that they kind of had more fun with it than they ended up having. But yeah, I think coming back to this, knowing River's entire journey and knowing, you know, where her story truly begins and that this is where it ends, it really, you think it's not going to be as emotional because you know how it ends watching it this time, but I think it just adds this additional layer of kind of weight and heart to it that you really understand why she's sacrificing herself. That's not to say that Alex Kingston didn't sell it in her original performance, because she absolutely does. Like, what I remember as this was the first season of Doctor Who that aired after I moved to America. So I remember watching this on TV with my dad. I had illegally downloaded it from the internet, as one does. I was watching it with my dad, and I remember getting really emotional with River saying, you know, you'll see me again. This isn't the end for you. And getting really emotional. And that's solely on the strength of the writing and the direction and Alex Kingston's performance. And then you come back to it after having explored and experienced her entire story, and oh my God. It's such a brilliant story, and it's a brilliant performance. It's a brilliant script.
I agree. So her ending is that she gets put into the computer, which I want to talk a little bit about, because also in that computer world is Dr. Moon, which I'm sure you've heard of. The
Moon?
I guess fan theory by the creators.
Oh yeah, Stephen Moffat said he wrote Dr. Moon with the assumption of, Dr. Moon is the Doctor. That is the final incarnation of the Doctor. which he's now done that twice. He's written 2 of those. Yeah, he did it. Russell T Davies and Stephen Moffat did they interviewed each other for Doctor Who magazine, I want to say like 10 years ago, in a piece that was, I think, called Battle of the Showrunners or whatever it was called. I hadn't read that issue at the time. I did buy it specifically to read that article, and it's a fascinating interview. I think that because they are so comfortable with each other, it's a really kind of fun and breezy interview. But yeah, that factoid about Dr. Moon being one of Moffat's takes on This Is Who the Last Doctor Is. He's done that 3 times now, actually. Because he did The Curator, there's Dr. Moon, and then he also did Joanna Lumley's Doctor in Curse of Fatal Death. And Rowan Atkinson was also supposed to be the Doctor going into retirement. So that's technically 4.
That's all timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly. How do you feel about that guy's portrayal if he is, in fact, the Doctor? How do you think?
Well, I'll tell you something interesting. So that particular actor is a wonderful gentleman by the name of Colin Salmon, who originally hails from a town in England called Luton, which, I don't know if either of you remember this, that's the town I'm from. That's where I grew up. That's where my mum was born. So anytime I've seen him on screen, it's like, hey, Luton boy makes good. He was also in all of the Pierce Brosnan Bond movies as some agent. I don't even know if he has a name. I just know he's in all of them. I think he's in all of them. And he's in the first Resident Evil movie with Mila Jovovich.
Is he the guy that gets like the lasers go through him?
Yeah, he gets diced into cubes and then thrown into a nice broth to, but kind of boils down to a nice soup.
What do you think of the Vashta Narada as a concept?
I mean, I think a shadow that eats things is terrifying. I really like the way that a lot of Doctor Who 2-parters deal with monsters, in that Vashta Narada are a terrifying, unthinking swarm. They just are hunger, and that's terrifying. And then by the second episode, they get into the suits and they start using the Neuralink to talk to people. And now it can be reasoned with, and now it can be threatened with books.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty cool.
It evolves.
Yeah, it evolves to the point where you're like, the Doctor can have that scene that's just literally just look me up and intimidate it.
Yeah, he rolls in that 20 on his intimidation check for sure in that moment. Yeah, I think the Vashta Narada is such a brilliant concept. Like, just on its own, tiny microscopic mites that live in shadows, that are shadows, that can strip the skin and meat off of a bone in seconds flat. They're the reason people sometimes go missing. They're the reason why roadkill gets cleared up more quickly, because obviously your local government's not going to take care of that. They're the reason you see dust in sunbeams. Like, the dust in sunbeams is 4 lines, and it is such a terrifying thing to say to an audience of children. And also want to stress, this episode aired during the summer. Just want to throw that out there as well. So kids who were watching this when it aired in the UK were probably sitting in their living rooms while the sun was still out, while sunbeams were kind of cascading through the window, while there was probably dust visible to them in the moment. Like, what a messed up thing. What a beautifully, gloriously screwed up thing to do to your audience in that moment. I love it. I love so much of that. And yeah, to your point, Toni, the Vashta Narada kind of slowly becoming something that is less of a primal force and more of an intellect that the Doctor can converse with and have. It's the Doctor who encourages them to do that. Like, you're wearing the suit, use the ghost pattern, and then they start to do that, and it is fascinating seeing the Vashta Narada, that's not what they're called, Benjamin. The Vashta Narada kind of evolve from that primal force into an intellectual force that the Doctor can try to reason with, because you can't reason with a shadow in the same way that you can't reason with a stone. That's why the Weeping Angels are terrifying. It is such a deft bit of writing that I don't think you really notice it as it's happening. I think it's one of those things where if you were to go back and kind of reassess it and reappraise it with a more critical eye, let's say you're, I don't know, about to talk about the episode on a podcast for 60 to 90 minutes, that's probably when your brain starts doing the mental arithmetic and going, oh, hang on a minute. Oh, that's actually very good.
Another small thing that I think is very good, because I worked at a place that had 4 different Matts. I currently work at a place that has 2 Hannahs and 2 Zachs. I think Proper Dave and Other Dave is very real.
Oh, it's incredibly, yeah.
I was absolutely devastated that Proper Dave getting eaten does not bump up other Dave.
He's
No,
still,
he's still just other
yeah.
Dave.
He's still other Dave. What does he got to do?
If there are two people named Dave where you work, and proper Dave, Dave 1, leaves the job, other Dave is still always going to be other Dave.
We had two Hannahs. The original Hannah was just called Hannah. The second one was called Han. Hannah's left. We still call Han.
Yeah.
So.
Except now Han Solo.
Yeah. I'm going to start calling her that. That's great.
This just makes me think of Scoots.
Oh, yeah. When I worked at the movie theater, we were about to hire a new person. One of the people who worked there decided that we were all just going to call him Scoots before we even met him.
Okay.
And so we did, and he was totally fine with it. I don't know his real name anymore.
Nope.
He's just Scoots.
He's Scoots. He's always going to be Scoots in your mind. I used to call my friend Dino's son Tiny because I thought it would be funny as the older he got, the more I called him Tiny. Like now he's taller than his dad. So calling him Tiny is, but I forgot. I stopped doing it, and I just forgot to do it. So now I got to find a new child to do that bit with.
I would like to talk about how terrifying the freaking dream world is, the computer world.
Mm-hmm. The one where when Donna's in it?
Yes, the one where Donna's in it, and all the children, there's just two children copy and pasted over and over again. But the scene where Donna loses her children is 1,000 times more upsetting than it has. I don't want to say that it has any right to be, but like a lot of other stuff is happening in that episode. This scene should be kind of like a blip in it, but it's so fucking devastating.
Oh yeah, it is one of those brilliant moments. I think one of the things that Stephen Moffat is very good at that I don't think he gets enough credit for is he knows how to scare his audience, whether that audience is young children who are going to be pretending to be statues on the playground at school the next day, or whether it's adults who are, again, it's the kid. Their kids will be in the room with them. They're going to be watching the show at 7 o'clock in the evening on BBC One with their kids, and they have to watch it with that moment of, oh, your kids don't exist and they never existed, and they've just disappeared. Like, again, that is a primal fear. Like, I guarantee you there's not a single parent you know who has not had the nightmare of, like, they're at the mall or at the park or something and they can't find their kids and they're looking everywhere for their kids. It's again, brilliant, deft bit of fear exploitation on Moffat's part. And a wonderful performance by Catherine Tate as well. Like, let's not undersell. Like, her terror in that moment is so palpable. I'm still palping it now, 18 years later.
I'm not a parent, but I have had dreams where I've had children and then I've woken up and felt weird.
I've had those dreams too. You wake up and you like miss them, and you're like, okay, cool, brain.
That's not
thank
a real
you.
person. Yeah.
Do you remember your dream children's names?
Nathaniel and Superfly.
That's not true.
That's what I keep saying. We should name kids if we ever have kids, and you keep saying no.
Correct.
But in the dream world, it can be true. You can have the children you've always wanted. What is Superfly's gender identity?
Whatever they want it to be.
Whatever they want. I feel like Superfly is a very genderqueer name.
It really is. I got it from Weird Al because it's in the song Albuquerque. He gets married in the song, and he has two children are named Nathaniel and Superfly. I always thought that was a very good choice of names. Isn't
there a website where you can search the US Census for most common names? Are there any children named Superfly?
There should be.
Let's
there probably
find out.
is.
Listen, hey, I'm gonna look at now.
There's got to be at least one guy.
A Weird Al fan.
Yeah.
How common is your name in the US? I'm gonna find it. We're gonna find out if there's anyone named Superfly.
There was a wrestler named Superfly, but I'm guessing
that's not a real name.
No one uses Superfly as a legal birth name, says Google AI, but
how could it know that?
Share your first name. I'm typing in Superfly. Oh, you have to put a first and last name? Oh, I hate this website for 1,000 years.
We'll never know.
So I typed in Superfly. I can't find the specific number of people in the US named Superfly. No, that tool exists, so I can't find it right now. What I can do is I have determined the median age of a person in these United States named Superfly. The median age is 48 years.
Okay.
3% of living Superflies are less than 9 years old. 4% of living Superflies are between 10 and 19. 9% are between 20 and 29. 21% are between 30 and 39. 29 are between 40 and 49. 20% between 50 and 59. There are 3% of people named Superfly are over the age of 80.
That's beautiful.
I'm wondering, Running with Scissors came out in 1999. Is there a correlation there?
Maybe.
45 is significantly older.
It says 20-something years ago, so There may be a few people named after the Weird Al song, but it seems like more are not.
More are not. They're just
fans
natural born superflies.
Yeah, millennials seem to be the largest concentration of people named Superfly.
Now you know.
Now you do
We're an
know.
educational podcast.
Yeah. Does that mean you can listen to this and write it off on your taxes?
Sure.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this on an iPod, you can write off your iPod on your taxes. Because we've taught you something today.
Do people still use iPods?
I hope so, because they're great. There are people who buy the original big chunky iPods and swap out the hard drives with an SSD drive with more capacity, and that's very in vogue right now.
Ah, you were wanting to do stuff like that.
I do. I want to build my own MP3 player, but I have to learn everything.
Yeah.
Because I know nothing.
But yeah, what I was saying was about the episode is the scene at the very end when we're out of the dream world and Donna's looking for her husband, but it's just like, I guess he was part of it too.
I can't tolerate it. It's too sad. It's too upsetting.
And then he's there, but he can't say anything because he has the stuttering problem. It's very emotionally heartbreaking. Apparently, that scene was going to be a lot different in the original draft. It was going to be an overweight lady. So that was just her dream self, was Donna's husband. And then I think RTD said, that's going to be really confusing.
Yeah, simplify it. Yeah, I think that was the right call.
Yeah, I think so too. So, okay, can I talk about my fears?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're talking about fears of children and fears of adults.
You're neither of those things. What are you scared of?
Yes, I'm non-binary when it comes to age. This isn't a thing the show posits as scary, but it is a thing that scares me, which is dying or like, okay, so there's so many sci-fi properties where you can transfer your consciousness into a digital realm.
Yeah.
They seem to continue to exist after that, but what if that opportunity arose for me, I would be scared to do it. That like, sure, there's a copy of me in there, but it's not actually me, and as soon as I did it, I would die. I would cease to exist, and that terrifies me.
Well, yeah.
That makes this empty spot in my stomach, and I want to throw up.
Yeah.
So
it is in many ways, it's the Prestige, right? It's Hugh Jackman stepping into the teleporter, and he doesn't know if he's going to be the one who appears on the balcony or the one who gets drowned in the tank underneath the stage. Spoiler alert for the Prestige, by the way. Yeah, it's literally that. Like, you're either going to die hooked up to the machine, or you'll be the one in the machine, but you can't possibly be both. So it's a coin flip.
yeah, and I see, I'm starting to feel weird in my stomach right now.
Also, David Bowie is there.
I do love the Prestige because it's like this dude goes fucking crazy and invents this like weird sci-fi thing to do a trick, and the other guy was just like, I just had a twin brother. That's hilarious to me.
Just find someone who looks enough like you that you could pull this off.
Yeah, instead you're like killing clones. It's so stupid.
Also, someone somewhere is gonna they're gonna find a pit of Hugh Jackman's.
And then they just put him in all the X-Men movies. They got to keep a steady stream of Wolverine.
Apparently they made more Hugh Jackmans than they made movies for him to star in. So they took all the extra Hugh Jackmans and buried them in the desert in New Mexico. That's a joke about E.T. for the Atari.
Oh yeah, I've played that game. It's
bad.
Ass. It's real bad.
It is from an era of games where they expected you to A, read the manual before you played the game, B, packed in the manual with the game, and C, expected you to read the manual while you were playing the game. And D, was made in 3 weeks and was a bad game.
I just remembered walking around, falling into holes, and not knowing what the hell was going on.
That's E.T., baby. Tony, what are you scared of?
Yeah, what are you scared of?
I simply don't have fears.
Are you afraid of not having any fears?
Sure.
That's your t-shirt, one fear?
Like... I think you're afraid of, like, what if I stopped existing? And mine is more like, what if I already don't exist? You know how people have that thing where they're like, everyone else but me is an NPC?
Oh, I hate that.
I have the exact opposite.
You think you're the NPC?
Yeah, for sure.
And someone's out there controlling you?
You've already said more lines of dialogue than you would have said if you were an NPC. If you were an NPC, you would have said, the Lord needs help attacking the dragon on the hilltop. Speak to Sir Clarence for more information. And that would be it. You've already said so much more. And you haven't mentioned Sir Clarence one time.
That is the real
You haven't told me what button I have to press to access my inventory. You haven't told me where the nearest quick save is.
I will say Toni is always sending me to the store on Quest.
Okay, yeah, maybe. Uh-oh.
I mean, it's always to get chocolate, though, so there's no
That's
variety.
a good quest. Nobody loses in that quest.
Good side quest.
That's true.
My favorite quest right now is going to the store to buy those Chobani yogurts where you've got the Greek yogurt on one side and like the little like cookie dough and crumbs on the side, and you tip it over and mix it up.
One of our go-tos is Your Fault, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yay!
Fish food.
Hell yeah. It's good. It's good. Although my tastes in ice cream have my medications have changed my my diet significantly. A lot of my meds changed a year ago. I found out 3 years ago that I was type 2 diabetic, and I decided 1 year ago to actually do something about it. I still like fish food, but it is too dense for me now in my 40s. So I say that recently I'm 40. I'm 40 years old as of April of this year. So my go-to right now, I'm a big fan of milk and cookies and half-baked. Those are my go-to Ben & Jerry's flavors. I will occasionally have a thing of fish food, but it's not, I can't have it all the time.
I also like the Tonight Dough, even though I don't like Jimmy Fallon, but I like the Tonight Dough.
I prefer Americone Dream.
I don't think I've had that one.
It's good. It's the Stephen Colbert one.
Oh.
Yeah.
The fish food is genuinely like bad things happened to me today. we are getting fish food.
You know, to be fair, I don't even really know if I like fish. I don't know if I know any of their music. So I just eat it regardless of the branding.
Yeah, I was not even aware that they were, because I first had it in the UK, and I don't know that fish had any like market penetration in the UK. Certainly I'd never heard any of their songs. I'd never been penetrated by fish, so I was just buying something called fish food. Like, oh, it's got chocolate fish in it. That's nice, and that's it.
They spell it with a PH. That's funny.
It's delightful. Also, the Ben & Jerry's with the brownie cores, where like there's that thick core of brownie in the middle, is life-changing. Oh, and 7-Eleven does Nutella ice cream now.
I don't need to know anything about that.
It's a pint of Nutella ice cream, and it tastes very good. But also, there's like a hard layer of Nutella on the top of it. It's nice. It's not have it every day nice, but what ice cream is? Trick question. It's drumsticks.
We do have an ice cream cake in the fridge,
Do
or the
an
freezer.
ice cream cake.
So I want to know, what do you think?
It's been a bad month.
It has been a bad month.
Maybe a year.
Do you want me to make it a bad month? I could make it a bad month for you right now.
No,
it's already pretty bad.
Okay, cool.
What do you think River Song? What the name was? She said.
Listen, I 100% believe this, and he's a hill I'll die on. The man's name is Doctor Who. That's his name, and he likes it. That's what she said.
That is what she said. I think his name is Dr. Reginald Johnson Who. But I think I've said that on possibly on this show in the past.
I believe what the actress actually said, at least in one take, was Shaniqua.
Yes. Alex Kingston has said that in interviews.
Apparently, she just kept saying funny names to try to get David Tennant to laugh, which she did.
Yeah, because Alex Kingston is simultaneously the best and worst scene partner you will ever have. Because she's phenomenal to act opposite, but she will destroy you with a single word.
And that word is Shaniqua. You know what? I think it's interesting because like River Song is so big and popular in this. I completely forget that Steve Pemberton is in this episode.
Yeah, him off of Inside Number 9, of The League of Gentlemen, off Taskmaster season something or other. Is he in Taskmaster? He's in the Taskmaster, isn't he?
Yeah, he's definitely a Taskmaster. He's also in Good Omens.
He is in
That's
Good
the
Omens.
one you know. He's one of the ones that become like a Nazi zombie in season 2. Yeah.
He also plays the construction foreman at the beginning of the Hitchhiker's Guide movie, and also voices one of the Vogons in that same movie. He's the guy who says, "You know how much damage this bulldozer would take if it were to roll straight over you?" None at all.
None at all.
That's him. That's Steve-O Pemberton. I don't think that's his real nickname, but I do want people to start calling him that. I want them specifically to say Steve-O Pemberton, and I want them to do the finger air quotes around the word Steve-O.
I will start doing that anytime I bring him up, which is not
Almost
that frequently.
never.
Yeah, he's not exactly a household name.
But he if you don't remember him, he's the guy who's like related to the girl in the library.
Also plays Robbie Williams' dad in the movie Better Man.
Is that the one where he's a monkey?
That's the one where he's a monkey. Steve Pemberton isn't a monkey. That would be ridiculous. His son, Robbie Williams, is the monkey.
that makes total
That
sense.
makes much more sense. I love Better Man. It's one of my favorite movies of the last few years. I went to see it opening day at the theater, in a theater. It was like me, my wife, and I think -3 other people. But my God, I love that movie for two reasons. Number one, it is genuinely a masterpiece. And people say, oh, nobody knows who Robbie Williams is. Why'd they make a movie out? I don't know that the man on the street knows who fucking Oppenheimer was. They still made a movie about him, and that made all of the money. So I feel a little bit like I don't think it cares. I think the problem with that movie, it also didn't do well in the UK. So I think the issue is less about no one knows who Robbie Williams is and more about maybe Paramount should have marketed the movie good. Maybe they should have done good marketing. It is a phenomenal movie. It is a true story. Robbie Williams is a monkey, as are we all. And Steve Pemberton plays his dad. But it also means, as a lifetime Robbie Williams fan, and I'm sorry I am turning this into a Robbie Williams podcast now, but as a lifetime Robbie Williams fan, I love that it turned more than one of his songs into show tunes I can sing at karaoke, and musical theater nerds now know what I'm singing. Here in America.
Didn't it also come out around the same time as there was that other music biopic? I don't remember who it was, but it was Lego.
Oh, the Pharrell Williams one?
It was like Piece by Piece, I think is what it was called.
Which also, I believe, tanked because no one wants a Lego movie about Pharrell Williams. Was it Pharrell Williams?
That sounds right. I respect that somebody pitched that and that it happened.
Yeah, it's a Pharrell... Because that movie exists because Warner Brothers' license to make Lego movies expired. Universal bought the license. What a great Doctor Who podcast we're on. Well, Universal bought the license. Universal co-produced the Doctor Who TV movie starring Paul McGann. Boom, there's your connection. Let's continue. They bought the license thinking they would also get the rights to the existing Lego movies and all of the brands that had appeared in them, such as Batman and what have you. And then actually, no, Warner Brothers owned or licensed those brands separately, you ding-dongs. So they're like, they have the rights to make Lego, but they can't make a movie out of any of the stuff Lego is. So they're like, well, let's take some pitches. And Pharrell Williams is, what if me? What if you make it about me? But it's Lego.
They came out the same year as Better Man, so...
I would like more Lego documentaries.
Yeah.
I genuinely love that you say the name of the movie Better Man like it is a person's last name, like Betterman.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Greg Betterman. Come to my mattress warehouse. We're selling mattresses on sale all through the Easter holiday.
I love the Bettermans and the Cybermans.
I was going to say, to be fair, that is how he says anything like that.
Yeah. Like Spider-Man.
Like
Why
it's
not?
one last name. Yeah.
Birdman. You remember the movie Birdman, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, or whatever the subtitle of that movie was?
Is there anything else we want to talk about this episode? I've hit the end of my notes.
One more thing I want to say about Robbie Williams is I do think that his music is vastly underrated. When he was originally trying to break the American market in 98, I want to say, 98, 99, the album that America got, which was called The Ego Has Landed, was a compilation of songs from his first two albums. His first album was... What was his first album called? I'm blanking on the name of his first album. But his second album was called Life Through a Lens. And both of those albums have some absolute bangers on them.
Should we stop them or just let them go?
Oh, the first album was Life Through a Lens. The second album was I've Been Expecting You. And the second album was also the thing Robbie Williams did. A lot of the music videos were about him trying to get cast as James Bond, which obviously didn't happen. Yeah, it's one of those things where I genuinely think that his music is brilliant and is underrated, and the movie is good. If you're listening to this and you have not seen Better Man, you are doing yourself a disservice. You do not need to know who Robbie Williams is. Again, the British know who Robbie Williams is. They didn't go to see the movie either. It's a good movie. It has one of the most spectacular, joyful, musical sequences of the last 10 years in it. It is phenomenal. Go see it or I'll cry.
I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I've ever heard a Robbie Williams song.
You'll hear several during the course of this movie.
But yeah, I think that's it for...
Would you like to take a break?
Yeah, let's take a quick break and then we'll be back for final thoughts.
Looking for smart, fun conversations about science fiction, fantasy, superheroes, anime, gaming, and all things geek culture? Join me, your host Nathan, on the 42 Cast, where every episode brings together a new panel of fans to dive deep into the stories, characters, and worlds we love. From classic franchises to hidden gems, the 42 Cast explores genre fiction with insight, humor, and plenty of passionate debate. Subscribe to the 42cast wherever you get your podcasts and join the conversation.
And we're back. Tony, do you know what time it is?
Yep.
What time is it?
It is 5:48 p.m.
Actually, it's 2:48 p.m. for those of us
Yeah.
on the slightly better coast.
You got to adjust for the Californians.
Yeah.
I will not.
BST, Ben Summertime.
And what do we do at this point in the podcast?
We do final thoughts.
We do.
I think it's fantastic. It stresses me out in the best possible way when we watch this, and then like the next time, and you're like, oh, the next time is midnight. You're like, what a fantastic run!
Mm-hmm.
What a fantastic run of episodes. I don't know. I feel like I don't have a lot to say just because it's like, yeah, this one's good. Everyone knows it's really good. River Song is good. 10 out of 10.
10 out of the 10th Doctor.
10 tenets
Out
of
of
10
10.
tenets.
Ben, what are your final thoughts?
I think one of Robbie Williams' most underrated albums is Rude Box, which I believe came out in 2006. It was kind of critically derided at the time, and I think it may be his lowest charting album, his worst performing album. But if you go back and listen to it now, in many ways it's kind of ahead of its time. He's doing a lot of like synth pop and remix stuff, and just kind of playing with form that would become more popular and contemporary as you get into the 2010s and 2020s. And I think that the problem with Rude Box is not that it's a bad album. It is that it just came out too soon. Like, he needed to put out another album that felt like an I've Been Expecting You, like a Sing When You're Winning, and give Rude Box a little bit more time to shine. People are willing to give Madonna a little bit more room to innovate, because she doesn't always do things first, but she does things incredibly well. And when she does do things first, she kind of sets that trend. And people aren't willing to give Robbie Williams that same, grace. And I think it's a real shame. I think people need to go back and reevaluate Rude Box.
I think you're making some of these titles up.
This is a real album. You want me to name all of Robbie Williams' albums for you now?
No.
Life Through a Lens,
No.
I've Been Expecting You, Sing When You're Winning, Swin When You're Winning, Escapology, Intensive Care, Rude Box, Reality Killed the Video Star, Take the Crown, Robbie Williams Swings Both Ways, The Heavy Entertainment Show, which I guarantee you, if you've been on TikTok, you've heard at least 3 songs from already, The Christmas Present, and Britpop. And that's not counting the stuff he did with Take That, which I'm less familiar with, but I do know that he came back in 2010 to do another album with Take That called Progress.
And that's how you feel about Silence in the Library and Forest of the Dead?
Oh, it's unmitigated genius. Brilliant 2-parter. Stephen Moffat never misses, even if there's certain corners of the Doctor Who fandom who would vehemently disagree with me on that statement. I can count on one hand the number of times I've seen Stephen Moffat write something on, that could have been a bit better. I genuinely love what he does, and I think this is him firing on all cylinders at a time when he's also like very close to becoming the showrunner. I don't know if when he was writing this is when he was offered the job or if it was after this, but this is why he was offered the job, like because of scripts like this, because of The Empty Child and The Doctor Dances, because he knocks out a banger like Blink as an apology for not having time to write a Dalek 2-parter because he was too busy writing Tintin. I'm not angry at Tintin. I'm just emphasizing how important he turns down 2 more Tintin movies and turns down finishing his own script for Tintin, so it gets handed off to Joel Cornish and Edgar Wright, so he can do Doctor Who, his literal childhood dream job, and then he knocks it out of the park consistently for 6 seasons? Are you kidding me? 5 stars.
Yeah, I agree with what you both said. Robbie Williams is great. And also, this episode is very good.
Ooh, there is one thing that I forgot to talk about, which is just that moment, and because I've talked a lot about Donna Noble and how I like her too much, but
it's not possible to like her too much
because she gets another very good scene at the end of this, where she asks the Doctor if he's all right, and they both kind of are like, "No, we are not having a good time. We are not okay," and then it's over. But there's something very tender and sweet about that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Of just 2 people saying like, "Hey, that was messed up, right?" Yes, we're just gonna go carry on.
We're gonna go take a vacation and where nothing bad
Where
will
nothing
happen.
bad happens.
Let's go to a spa resort. Nothing bad ever happened at a spa resort.
But it's just another moment that's, I think, is a good showcase of their relationship and how there are ways in which Rosa's story does annoy me by completely revolving around the Doctor. And I think the like level that Donna and the Doctor are on is the same level. And I don't mean that in terms of like ability or in terms of intellect, but it's in terms of carrying the same the same amount of burden. And that's something that like I feel like Donna does for the Doctor, right? Is like doesn't let him take all this like grief on his own. And I've talked about it before. I've talked about Fires of Pompeii, where they flip the switch together. And like that to me is what their relationship is about.
Yeah.
Is like not being like, oh, the Doctor is this great person who can do all these things. Like she sees what he is like trying to carry on his own. I just like it. It's just good.
I think the one thing that Donna has that a lot of other Doctor Who companions have not had before or since is that she has seen how far he can go when he doesn't have someone else there to carry it with him.
Yeah.
And so I think one of the things that you kind of see, particularly in Fires of Pompeii, is her decision to carry it with him. And that's such a big thing. It is, and I think because Donna is not your typical Doctor Who companion, that she's not like a young girl. She's not in her late teens, early 20s. She's already a woman. She's in her, 30s, 40s at this point. She's an adult. She has already had life experiences. She technically has a failed marriage. Like, other than Amy Pond and Robbie Williams, what other Doctor Who companion can say that they have that? And there's something really... the choices that she makes are from a perspective of someone who has already not just seen the Doctor, but has also seen some things herself and has lived a life and kind of knows what it's like to have to kind of carry things on your own, and has seen what happens to him when he has to do that. And I think there's a wonderful one of the things. I'm not a big fan of season 4. I think that I love this run of Silence in the Library, Forest of the Dead, Midnight, and Turn Left. I am a Turn Left apologist. I love it. I think the only part of Turn Left that doesn't work is when they're at the resort house and they see London being nuked off in the distance, and then Donna turns around and that Spanish maid is like pointing at her like it's, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That's the only part that doesn't work for me. Everything else this is a fantastic run of episodes, but season 4 doesn't work. What works for season 4 is the relationship between Donna and the 10th Doctor. And even in episodes that I'm not a big fan of Planet of the Ood. I'm not super into that Sontaran two-parter, but the moments that work it's when Catherine Tate and David Tennant are getting to play together. And that is so much fun to watch. And it's it lifts everything else around it in a way that I think if it were a different character, if you've read The Writer's Tale by Russell T Davies and Ben Cook, then you know that before Catherine Tate asked to come back, there was going to be another companion called Penny, who would have been a journalist, who would have been maybe in her early to mid 20s. I don't know who they would have cast for Penny. I can't imagine this season working without David Tennant and Catherine Tate's connection.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about that a little bit in the
Partners in
Unicorn.
Crime?
No,
Oh.
The Unicorn and the Wasp, because we were saying like the really, really good stuff, the stuff in that episode that stands out, and like the rest of it who can super remember, but the stuff that stands out is just David Tennant and Catherine Tate.
Mm-hmm.
Like straight up, it's just the two of them.
It's that
having
scene
fun.
where he's eating all the stuff or whatever
Yeah.
to get rid of the poison.
And it's like, that's a good scene. It would not be as good with different people. Yeah.
They are selling the hell out of it.
100%.
Before we go, Ben, is there anything you would like to plug?
I would love it immensely if people would go and listen to Jump Leads. You can find it at audio.jumpleads.zone. That is JUMPLEADS. It is a sci-fi comedy audio drama. Episodes are about 30 to 40 minutes long. It is a reboot of the webcomic I used to do. It is about two trainees and a kind of self-appointed reality police who, during their first field training exercise, things go spectacularly wrong and they're stuck hopping to different parallel universes trying to make their way home. I'm incredibly proud of it. The cast list is ridiculous. We have Debbie Derryberry from Jimmy Neutron. We have Roger Craig Smith, who you may know as the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog, and Chris Redfield from Resident Evil. Only Chris Redfield is from Resident Evil. Sonic the Hedgehog is from Sonic the Hedgehog. Christina M. Medina, who has done a bunch of stuff. Dino Andrade and Austin Lee Matthews from the first season come back. Just the cast list on the show is enormous. The quality of Dave Fennoy, the quality and caliber of people who agreed to come and play with us to make this thing is phenomenal. And you pair that with the fact that season 2 in particular, I'm incredibly proud of. I don't think there's a single bad script in that run. Please listen to it. If you like it, subscribe to the feed so that you get notified when season 3 starts dropping, which will hopefully be next year, early to mid next year, sometime next year. And jump leads. And I also produced an expansion pack for the last version of Worms released for the Commodore Amiga, Worms the Director's Cut. I worked with Andy Davidson, the creator of Worms, to produce a pack of over 40 maps, over 50 new sample sets, voice packs for the game. We've been working on it for 2 years. I'm insanely proud of this thing. We have new art from a bunch of incredible artists, levels that are officially licensed from video games like Rough and Tumble from Turrican. Eric W. Schwartz, who is a very well-known artist in the Amiga community, has contributed stuff to the pack as well. And you can find it at worm.net. If you don't have Worms the Director's Cut, I can't tell you where to download it illegally, and I can't tell you where to get the Kickstart ROMs you need to play it on an emulated Amiga. You'll just have to take care of that yourself. But I strongly encourage anyone who wants to check it out, or I'll cry.
Sweet.
I have one thing I'd like to plug, which is the Robbie Williams biopic Better Man. I think everyone should watch it.
I'll give that. I have not heard of that. I'll check it out.
It's probably on Netflix or something.
It's definitely going to be on Paramount Plus. But I did cancel my Paramount Plush. Paramount Plush? I cancelled my Paramount Plush. It's a cuddly toy of the Paramount Mountain. It's gone. I cancelled it. It said a slur, so...
Yeah.
Oof.
If you like this episode of the podcast, you can check out more on WatchYourRassilon.com. You can also find our podcast, our Patreon, and more at Linktree/Watch-A-Thon. I also want to give a special shout out to Vince and EL for providing us with our amazing theme song.
Hey, thank you, Vince.
Check out more of their music at vincentel.bandcamp.com. And tune in next time when we talk about Midnight with Matt Golden.
Our cat.
Yes, our cat Midnight.
Oh, I thought you meant Matt Golden is your cat.
They're both our cats.
Our cat is named Matt Golden, and we will be talking about the Doctor Who episode Midnight. Until next time, keep calm and wrestle on.
Goodbye, and I love you in a platonic, parasocial way.
So long, suckers!
Donna Noble has left the library. Donna Noble has been saved. This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping for the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.